What is up, Reds? Welcome back to the Sunday Summary. It's been a few weeks. Glad to be back. I'm your host, Kyle. With me always is Steven. Today's show, we got to discuss a lot between Cody Gakpo's first appearance for the club, Darwin Nunez finally scoring, and what Liverpool are actually doing on the pitch. What are Liverpool doing? Why are we playing so poorly? What do we need to fix? And do we need to sign more people in January? And no, Liz, I didn't oversleep. So suck it. All right. What's up, Steve?
Hello. I'm back. It's been a while. What's it been? A month?
3 weeks, I
I
think.
think it was December 11th. That sound right? December 11th? Yeah, that would be right.
Long time.
Or the 10th or something. The 11th. It was the 11th. It's been too long. Happy holidays, happy New Year to everyone. That's how long it's been. I went to Disney World. That was a blast, but we do have a lot to get into today. So, where do you want to start?
Dude, I want to start with I really think that we just need to vent. I think everyone needs to vent a little bit. And I do want to say good morning to all our channel members. Thank you very much for being here. Tony, shout out to Tony. Tony was actually in New York, Steve, at Carragher's.
Tony Madden.
Yeah, Tony was in New York at Carragher's, I think, watching
Tony,
the
I
match
wish I
yesterday.
knew. I got friends and family over there. It's only like a 3-hour ride for me, or I can even jump on the train, take a quick nap. 3 hours and 15 minutes. Boom, boom. Carragher's. See you later.
Yeah, the new one, Steve, we went to the older one. The new one is actually really cool. A little bit.
There's. Go ahead.
It was just, I don't know, little bit different. Completely different sides of the city too, but ultimately a cool place.
Well, the thing is, it's probably the most popular in New York because there are a few different supporters, pubs, and whatnot.
Oh, it's probably the most popular in the country.
It may be, but here's the difference between that and the other places I've been. Because I'm a member, so that's like the official New York Supporters Club of Liverpool, LFC. I've been to the one in Boston. I've been a member there for almost 4 years now. That's a different vibe. It's smaller. There's more singing. It's louder. There's more passion. It's like I would imagine it feels like you're in a pub watching Liverpool in Merseyside versus watching in a pub, a nicer high-end pub in London. That's what I would imagine the comparison is like.
I'd say that's a
Like
good
the
one.
place that I go is not dirty by any means, but it's a dark pub. And people are in there passionate, bleeding LFC. It's insane. But you and I have been to the one in Carragher's, and it's very nice. And it's super nice, and you have to check it out if you come over.
Yeah.
But I think it's a little bit more civilized.
Well, I told you I went to
higher end.
I told you they moved, right? So you and I went to
Yeah.
the older one. They moved downtown, and I went to that one. So I've been to both. And I said this story on the show before, but the rent they were paying at the previous facility was 55 grand a month. They couldn't afford it. I was like, I don't blame you.
Yeah, no crap. You can't afford it.
55 grand.
Carragher made $20K a week.
That's funny as hell.
Carragher made 55 grand a year.
That's insane. Definitely made more than that.
Yeah.
So, look, what's going on with the club right now? I mean, yesterday, my opinions on the game were a little bit different than most people's. I thought that we played somewhat bad in the first half, but we came out in the second half and made things right, effort-wise. But most people are going to say that Liverpool played the reserves of Wolves, and therefore we should have smacked them, which I completely understand. But we get a replay. I don't understand why we do replays in these cups. Why don't you just go to overtime and penalties? Like, it is such a nuisance that you have to schedule another match and the guys have to play another 90 minutes. Just go to overtime and play and kick penalties, damn it. It's so annoying. And so we drew with Wolves. We have to do a replay. What the hell's going on with the club, dude? Yeah, we had 2 wins, right? You and I were talking about this the other night. Leicester had to score 2 own goals for us to get a win. All right, and then we end up
They're a
losing to
bottom of the
Brentford.
barrel Premier League team. They're not good anymore. That's what makes it even worse. That's what hurts even worse.
I don't quite understand. This is almost how we started the season. Just very poor play, lack of effort. And if you guys haven't watched my analysis video, I think that, honestly, I really think that's a good video to watch. Because yesterday in the second half, I was actually looking for that. I was looking for the link between midfield and the attack, and we were seeing it much more in the second half, which is why we had a lot more chances. But this team's got to figure it out, dude. We're coming up on a huge rematch in February with Madrid in the Champions League. And by the way it looks right now, our focus needs to be securing top 4 because I find it very unlikely that we beat Madrid. I would love to. I just find it very unlikely that Liverpool, with the current way we're playing, advance to the last 8 of the Champions League through Madrid.
I don't even think that's what they're worried about right now. We do need to vent. We need to figure out what's going on. Now, the thing with Real Madrid is I wouldn't be surprised necessarily if we came in and put it on a shift and like somehow advanced in that leg, because there's still quality somewhere under there, but we just can't find it right now against lesser competition. Opposition.
Keep going,
Competition. We transition. Back to what I was saying. Against inferior opponents, Leicester, Brentford, Wolves, all inferior, we can't get it done. But before that, we beat Villa. We played a really good match against City. We smashed Milan.
We lost to Lyon and then we smashed Milan. Those games do not count. Those were garbage can games. Those were just like scrimmages, right?
All right, but I'm just talking about just like how we've been recently.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah.
You're asking what's wrong. A lot. But I watched the video that you made. That is a great video. I think our style of play has changed. I don't necessarily think it's a matter of effort, however. We could talk about this all day, and this could really chew up some time on the show.
Now,
but I don't think it's effort.
May I interject on the effort portion?
Sure.
There was a graphic. Let me see if I can pull it up. Because
If you're going to talk to me about running or distance run, please save it.
Dude, I know you've seen it. Have you seen that chart, though, Steve?
Let's see it. I have.
Okay. So let me see if I can find it here. And while I'm finding it, you can finish making your point. Or not. Okay.
Oh, sorry. You wanted me to continue. I thought you wanted me to wait. So
No. I said while I'm looking for it, you can, because it's going to take me a minute to look for it. Well, since you didn't,
we got a super chat.
Liz.
Florida.
Yeah, Steve, you went to both New York, where Tony was, and you went to Florida, where Liz was, and you didn't say what's up to him. What's up with that, man?
I didn't go to New York.
Oh, wait. Sorry. You could have. My mistake.
Competition. Okay. I didn't. Liz, I don't know how close you are to Disney, but I will say this. I was there for 6 days, 5 nights, I think, or maybe a week.
You're not making your case any better.
Listen, but listen. It was a very packed schedule, and I also had to work. So I didn't have time for anything. But
guys, everyone, let's congratulate Steven. Steven got a huge promotion at work. He was grinding for the last year. He got it. Shout out to Steve, everybody. Let's go. No more sleepless nights for Steve.
Thank you. Unless we keep playing like this, then.
Yeah, well, that's true.
I haven't slept in months, to be frank. I haven't slept since that Man City win. The previous win.
Of the My Cousin Vinny quote where he goes, I ain't slept in 5 days.
Oh, man.
You got to watch that movie.
I've seen
Oh,
it.
what a movie. But Liz, thank you very much for the super chat. I really need to find this freaking graphic.
Liverpool goals Instagram put it up.
No, it's not.
You know that guy? He's
Oh,
solid.
the Instagram put it out?
I think their Instagram put it out. But
Okay,
anyways,
Liverpool.
here's the gist. I think it shows how we were like 2019, 2020. We ran like, let's just say the number's 20. The next
Oh,
year
yeah.
it was like 12 and now it's 7. Something like that.
So we're bottom of the table now. Good God, come on.
I'll find it.
How far? No. I'm on it right now. Just give me a minute. I didn't expect to have to pull this up. I would have had it ready if I did, but
It's just poor planning, guys.
I'm just
We should all be using this by now.
I am just a piece of garbage. That's what it is.
That is true.
Liverpool
All right.
Goals is a very underrated account, by the way. They have some really good content.
Shout out to my mother who's in here watching, and they are great. And he's friends with Jose Enrique, who he has on for like who comments on everything
Yeah.
and is on every post match like reaction video.
Jose Enrique is the man, dude.
But the kid that runs, yeah, he is. He is a cool dude. He's a cool cat. The kid that runs Liverpool Goals, he is on top of it.
Yes.
I don't know if
Here
this
it
is what he
is.
does full time. I would imagine it is because he posts everything around the clock. It's incredible.
It is.
So I would
It
imagine
absolutely
it's his
is.
full time gig.
And it's tough. It's one thing to do a YouTube channel. YouTube channel, you're making content infrequently. You're not constantly doing it. But social media, you have to be on it because there are so many Liverpool accounts. I mean, it's unreal. And to be one of the top ones, Liverpool Goals, I think, is one of the top ones.
Yes.
Not news, just entertainment. It's a big deal. It takes a lot. Okay, let me share my screen here and show you guys what's going on. Do we have another super chat? We might have another.
Did we
super
cover the
chat.
Liz one? Yeah. Yeah,
We
we
covered
did.
the list. All right,
Congratulations, Steve. We will be back soon from Doug. What a legend. Let's give a quick
Doug.
shout out to Doug.
Shout out to Doug with the super chat.
Doug's
Let's
been
go.
supporting this, and we've been supporting him for years.
We got to bring Doug back on the show, man.
Yep. And then we got another one here from your mother, Beth. Congratulations, Steve. Wow. Everybody for all the support. Well, I wasn't expecting this.
See, that's what I'm saying, Steve. Congrats.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's exciting. It's a relief more than anything. But let's take a look at this chart. Thanks again, guys. Doug, Beth, Liz, legends, channel legends for a very, very long time.
So Liverpool's Premier League ranking for distance, sprints, and high-speed runs has fallen compared to last season. And really, if you look at 18-19, okay, 18-19 was one of the best seasons we've ever had. All right, and that was no, it was not. It was absolutely not. I was going to say it was the last season we had Gini Wijnaldum. We had him for 2 seasons after that. We were first in every category: distance, sprints, high-speed runs, whatever. Steve, look how far we've fallen. This is actually something to look at and be like, okay, why? Why have Liverpool fallen this far? Because Liverpool are known as a high intensity team. And you said it earlier, and I 100% agree. Opposition. We have completely changed the way we play the game. Klopp's style has adapted over time. And it's not necessarily a bad thing, but I think this is what happens. And as a result, we're seeing a lot more goals let in and chances from the opposition. I mean, that's just how I see it. We're not suffocating teams like we used to. We're giving teams way too many chances to find open players. And then we're not running. Like that's just my opinion when I look at this graph.
Well, what's the two common denominators here? Take away 18-19, 19-20, 21-22. Because those are all relatively in the same ballpark. They're all top 5, let's just say.
Mm-hmm.
Where is Oh, distance, sprints, high speed runs. Well, I guess what do you want to tackle first? So you just want to look at everything in general.
So I just wanted to pull the chart up so everyone can see it. We don't have to like analyze it too much. It's a very simple chart to understand. But we've gone from first all the way down to bottom half of the table, bro.
Here's the difference. 2021 and now 22-23. Correct me if I'm wrong, but 2021, that was the injury-riddled season where we fought and made top 4 with Alisson's header and all that.
It was.
You're right. So we're not playing the same football when we don't have everyone available. Or let's just be fair and say most available. That's the same situation here. When you think about your workhorses, who are the workhorses at Liverpool and who have been? Milner, Hendo, Bobby. Those are the workhorses. Those are the people that probably run the most on the team,
Mane.
I would imagine.
Mane.
Robbo. Right?
Yep.
And when you have lethal goal scorers, Mane and Salah, in this case, Mane is gone, that aren't putting up those insane numbers, you defend more. I think it's the whole style of play changes, and that's what we're seeing here. It has to do with the fact that you're right. We're not playing the same because the same players aren't out there, and they're older. I saw Jamie Carragher said something recently. He said something about, Oxlade-Chamberlain, not the player he once was, or something like that. He said something to the effect of Thiago is solid for him. He said something like, Elliot's not a Klopp player for me, or Elliot and Carvalho don't look like Klopp players. Now, while I don't necessarily agree with that, they are different players that get serious minutes in positions where we used to have workhorses. The midfield. Wijnaldum, Hendo, Firmino, Milner, right? Things have changed. So while this is concerning, I think it's very easy to see how. The question is, how do we get back to that?
I think it's a valid question, and I agree to a certain extent with Carragher. I mean, if you look at, I don't understand. I do kind of understand, but I'd like to see Carvalho get more minutes. Number one. Number two, Elliot is good. Okay, but what Elliot doesn't offer us necessarily is a big, intimidating presence in the midfield defensively. He's still young. Now, I'll tell you one thing that I just want to say this. Ben Doak, that dude Ben Doak, that kid looks good.
Savage.
Yeah, but aside from
He is a tough dude. I like him. Yeah.
Yeah. When I've seen him
keep
play,
him on the bench for now because
yeah,
his matches are too
but
important. But
I like him. I see him play. I'm like, I like this kid. But you're absolutely right. The players, the days of the Milners, the days of the Genies, like physical, tough midfielders, they're going away. But we need to replace them with guys. I just look at the midfield now. Fabinho, Hendo, Thiago. Still a good midfield. But Thiago, he's not necessarily physical, right? He's more of the attacking-minded midfielder. Hendo and Fabinho are always going to be physical. But when you look at it that way and you take away the running, the distance run, that's the lack of intensity. And that's where I was getting at earlier with the lack of effort. Maybe it's not effort, but there's a lack of intensity there, bro. If
we
we're
used
not,
to be the team that no one could score on.
that's
and
my
we would
point.
score a ton of goals.
That's my point. And it didn't matter who was in the midfield. We really didn't. This is the first season where I'm looking at the midfield and I'm saying, like, we're losing the midfield battle almost every game. So I do think Klopp is trying to change his style, maybe to conserve players, maybe so as many players don't get injured. We don't know. But he's trying to adapt, and you got to respect that as a coach. Coaches who are stagnant and stubborn and don't try to change the way they play are doomed for just, What am I looking for? They're doomed to fail. Klopp is actually trying to adapt, and I give him credit for that, but he's got to find something that works.
Here's the thing: you can't. The players he's gotten and the players we have, they're Klopp players in more than one way. Not just the fact that they'll work hard, right? They're coachable. If you tell Milner, Hendo, Bobby to do something, they'll do it. I would say the same goes for most players out there. They will listen to him. The issue is they're not the right personnel for the job. It's in what seems to be the way we have to play. That's where the reinforcements and the need for reinforcements comes in. Right? Like more granular than just we needed new midfielders, we didn't get them. It's like we need different midfielders. You know?
I agree. And another thing I did want to bring up, as much as we can analyze its tactical or it's personnel based, guys, we also have to take some or the team also have to take some responsibility that we're just not playing that well. All right. Steve, we were talking about this the other day, and we said that it's very common in this community, this Liverpool community. Okay. And I don't know if it's a cultural reason or just, different mindsets and different personalities. But a lot of people want to blame something. We play bad and they need to blame something. All right. And a lot of times they'll blame we didn't invest. Like we're not spending money. It's such an easy out. People do it every time we play bad. But then they're silent when we win. Okay? The team is not playing well. We just suck right now. I feel like these people criticizing the club and all that forgot about last season, guys. Last season was historically one of the best seasons Liverpool Football Club has ever had. Ever.
Maybe the best.
We lost out on the quadruple by 1 point and 1 goal.
Should have won that final.
The amount of skill and quality and good team play that takes. And now the reason we're not playing well is because we didn't invest in the midfield. You're full of crap. Do I think we could use a midfielder? Yeah. But it's just because we're not playing well. That's what it comes down to. Teams playing like garbage.
Well, what is the difference between last year and this year?
That's my point.
Mane's gone. The actual factual differences. Mane is gone. Nunez is in. Jota, Diaz aren't around. Bobby has missed time. Milner has missed time. Trent is not the same player he was. Matip missed time. Like the World Cup, there's a lot of differences.
Yeah.
But you're right. Like we have to turn the focus now after the World Cup and the fact that this has been sustained struggle to the players. But I also think we should look at the manager too. Oyvind says he will not blame Klopp's tactics. Okay. I don't know if I agree with that, but like eventually you do have to look at the manager. Because when you put a field out there every match or a lineup out there in every match that's better than your opposition and you can't pull out consistent results, it can't just be the players. Like yesterday, we lost because of Alisson. Like I don't want to waste mental energy looking at that match, thinking or diving into the tactics of that match. We didn't play well, but we still should have won. We lost because of Alisson. But he's been great all year. So like, okay, Alisson, you're allowed to have a bad game. At least we get another crack at Wolves, right?
Alisson made a mistake.
You made 2.
Horrific mistake. Uncharacteristic mistake of Alisson. So yes, I say if that mistake doesn't happen, if we focus, we win the game. Okay.
Oh, we didn't lose. We drew. Sorry.
Yeah. we drew.
Was I saying loss?
I think you said loss.
And then that second goal, they didn't score a legit goal yesterday. Now the concern is how dangerous they looked and were at times, and we've looked so vulnerable.
That's a lot of people are saying that here in the chat that we just the ease at which opposition teams are getting through the midfield and getting chances is astounding. Okay. And what I'm saying is there's no pressure, there's no intimidation factor in that midfield. There's so much space. And when there's space, there's time to make these decisions. And teams are doing that. And I don't know if that comes back to Klopp's tactics. If he's saying, look, guys, we're not going to press like we normally do, we're going to press at specific times. Okay. But as a result, teams are getting so much space and time that we're vulnerable at the back because of the high line. I mean, Trent, if you want to look at positives defensively yesterday, I thought Trent played really well defensively yesterday.
I think he's been pretty defensively solid for a month, personally. We haven't talked about Trent defending
because of the World Cup issues there. So yesterday, if I'm pointing out positives, what I like to see was the link up between Trent and Darwin. Darwin finishes. That's a great team goal. And the reason we scored that goal is because we were quick on the attack. We exposed the space, all right? We got the ball out wide to Trent. Trent sprinted up the field, and he put in an early cross to Darwin, okay? We didn't do what we normally do, which is side-to-side pass, inch our way up the field, and then we're just trying crosses into the box. It's so easy. I wouldn't say it's easy. It is so much more manageable to defend crosses when you're just with the opposition just sitting low. Let's just sit in this block, wait for a cross, and clear it. But if you're on the break, if you're sprinting, if you're making the opposition move, you're going to make chances. And that's why we scored that goal. Same with the Salah goal. But we didn't do that against, against Leicester. We really did not play on the break against Leicester. Leicester just sat deep and defended all 8,000 crosses that we put into the box.
What about Brentford?
Maybe
they're just our kryptonite, Brentford.
Yeah, credit to Brentford. Brentford are actually top of the table this year, or not top of the table, but top half of the table. I mean, they're playing well, and I didn't expect them to play well, and they didn't even have Ivan Toney. You know, Brentford.
No, because I think that position for them is interchangeable. Because you see those guys get a few chances. Wissa, it was right.
What's that?
I think Wissa was playing up top for them instead of Toney, and he could have had. He put the ball in the back of the net 3-4 times.
Yeah, it's actually insane how much he.
Their team just looked and reminded me of like what a well-oiled machine looks like. You know, they just looked like they were clicking. I don't think nothing world class over there. Nothing. Not the manager, none of the players. Tony's solid, but he's going to be like a journeyman, I think. I think he'll get to a bigger club, but he'll be like a Jermaine Defoe. He'll just score goals forever. And that's it. But they were solid, and they kind of won me over. I kind of like Brentford a little bit. Good for them. And they exposed us. That brought me back from okay, here we go. We're moving up to no, we're not, crashing back down. Because good teams get results, and we had results until then. Aside from City. But I'm okay with that. We talked about that. It's okay.
Yeah.
The City stuff.
The good thing about this is that we're not that far off a top 4, guys. I looked at when I made the video, I was looking at the table. I was like, okay, it's so doable. Halfway through the season, everything is so doable now. But these issues do need to be addressed. They need to be addressed for the rest of the Premier League season, and especially when we start taking on, or when we have our Champions League match against Madrid. I'll tell you right now, Madrid will destroy us if we don't figure out that defensive lapse. That's personally what I think. Now let's go over to the chat and see what everyone else is saying. Maxwell here saying this high line is suicidal. Look how Neves just chipped the ball and Nori just ran and had one-on-one with Alisson. A lot of people are going to blame the high line. The high line has actually, in my opinion, been what has set us apart from other teams in the past. Like it's a blessing and a curse. Our high line can be really, really useful for teams that try to play on the break, causing offsides. But then you get a team that is really good at timing their runs, and it's bad. So
Without Van Dijk, it's going to be a problem.
yeah, it's going to be
And
rough.
people, okay, here's the deal. Konate has the pace, but he doesn't have the IQ yet to recognize. And pace isn't going to save you every time with a well-timed run that you just mentioned. If somebody has well-timed runs, we will get torched. And Matip knows, but hasn't been amazing the last recent spell. Thought he was really good. Of course, last year and then earlier this year, solid. But then there was some injuries. He doesn't have the athleticism to fill the gap when there is a well-timed run. Virgil has both. So, I think this is a good point. I'm nervous about this. It'll be interesting to see what happens here moving forward.
But I think Ross hits the nail on the head here, and this is goes for everything, Ross. The high line is only highlighted when it doesn't work. People only highlight stuff with our tactics when it doesn't work. They're like, "Oh, this is terrible. Why is Klopp doing this?" You know, that bothers me. But
because we used to be perfect.
Yeah,
that's why.
When you're spoiled, this is what happens. You sound like a
when
spoiled
you win
brat.
4-1 against a top 6 opponent easily, and you get beat once on the high line, no one cares.
Yep.
But when it results in losses and you look poor overall, that's when it comes to the forefront.
One thing I do want to say is notice how nobody, and I'm not, criticizing anyone for this because we're not doing it either. Nobody is talking about Alisson's mistake. You mentioned it earlier. That's the reason we drew.
Yeah.
But nobody's talking about it.
Well, I think it's so obvious, number one. And
it's so, right. But that is like the reason. That's the reason.
The fact that he couldn't save and the fact that he made that mistake.
No,
couldn't save off that little deflection.
No, he had a great save yesterday. It wasn't that. It was just the breakdown of the defense leading up to the second goal was just poor. The whole sequence was poor. But he had a great save yesterday off of I don't know if it was Nunez's shot or Neves' shot or Jimenez's shot. I don't know what it was. But great save.
He's the reason we lost. He's the reason we drew the match.
Now, that mistake was horrific. Horrific mistake. I think that's the worst mistake I've ever seen Alisson make. Okay? No one's talking about it. Nobody's saying that's the reason. Everyone wants to point out the other stuff. Okay? Why does Liverpool, the fan base, have this? They want to point out things that aren't obvious. Like they want to look at other things to blame instead of the one thing that was clear and obvious. Alisson kicked it to a defender and the defender scored. No, we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about how we don't have a midfielder, how FSG didn't provide us the funds, and how our high line is shit, and how we're not pressing. Dude, this is just the stuff I think about. Let's go to Alexi here.
Yeah, I want to talk about this here.
Yeah.
So first of all, let's just get it out of the way. Alisson is the reason that game was 2-2 yesterday.
But Alisson's also the reason that we're even competitive this season. Alisson,
right? He gets a pass. I said that.
Yeah,
I said that. He gets a pass, but
right.
He was the worst player on the pitch yesterday.
Yeah.
Moving on. Fabinho played almost as a third CB right in front of our CBs, almost a diamond formation. Henderson was our box-to-box CM. Neither one is providing this season like in the past. And then let's look at the next one a few comments down because I think they're kind of one and the same. This is my favorite part of this. Bobby is completely different from Nunez. The way Bobby dropped back to get the ball now we see was super important. Moving on. And Mane was key. He's now gone. Need to spend this time rebuilding this season and next. So,
watch my analysis video, guys.
Yes. This touches on your analysis video from earlier this week. A little bit of tactical X's and O's. Guys, go check that out.
I'm just going to play it here. Keep talking.
So he's right. He's right. Fabinho and Hendo aren't the same players, although I do think they've both been solid. After the rough start to the year, I think they've both turned it around a little bit. They're not the same players they were. They're not 27 anymore. That's a fact. So that's one piece. The other piece, and I think most importantly, is that Bobby's not around. You can say what you want about Bobby, but he has been on fire this year. And when you take him out, and if you guys watch this video, maybe we can play it here or just that one clip,
Yeah.
share it. You'll see the differences in what he does. Him just moving 10 yards farther or 10 yards in a different direction than a guy like Nunez changes the entire complexity of our tactics, of our counter opportunities, everything. So play that.
Yep. Let me poor Jota,
And
man.
then
God, I
the
miss
other
him.
piece here, the other piece here was Mane was key. He's now gone. Now, I don't think any of us realized how important he was. Goal production, sure. In terms of like pressing and how we look as a team, how we look like out there.
Yeah.
I
Let
didn't
me,
expect that.
I'll just play this little clip for you guys. This is part of the video I made earlier this week. I do encourage you to go check it out. It's basically what we've been saying. A lot of people, just basically the lack of a link between midfield and attack, strictly on the attacking end. But I'll just play this little clip for you guys. We're huge goal contributors. So we take that into account, and you could say injuries. All right. A lot of Liverpool fans will probably say that the midfield is the real reason. So let me take a look at what's going on in the midfield. So I just want to bring up a match from earlier this season and show you good Liverpool play that we've seen previously. Okay. And I want to break it down for you so you can watch the style and how Liverpool, how their formation during the match impacts their ability to score and defend. I've chosen one match, the Tottenham match from earlier this season. I thought that was a very well-played match on both sides of the ball. So the big thing you'll notice right off the bat is Bobby Firmino is starting in the center forward spot. Right now, recently, Klopp has been playing Oxlade-Chamberlain on the left because of the lack of winger play with Gakpo. Probably going to start playing here soon. But Darwin Nunez has been playing through the middle. At this point in time, he was playing on the left, so keep that in mind. But what I want everyone to focus on is what Roberto Firmino is able to create coming through the middle of the field that at this point in time, Darwin Nunez isn't doing and Oxlade-Chamberlain on the left isn't doing. So you see here, let's pause it right here. You look at what Bobby... Just look at where Bobby's at, bro. Look at Bobby's positioning, okay? He's essentially an attacking midfielder. Right? Look how deep, like you don't see Darwin. He's pushed off of that line. But let me keep it going.
Yeah, go ahead.
Firmino and Salah just did, okay? Look at the lack of space between the midfield and the front line for Liverpool here. Liverpool's link up, there's no gap, okay? There's no gap. And look at what that does to Tottenham's defense. It draws in every midfielder and every defender. Not to mention, Bobby is now pulled back. He's come short to receive that ball off of Salah and Elliott. And now look, Robbo, all the space in the world on the opposite side of the pitch, and he finds him, okay? This is just one example, but look what it leads to. Tottenham all out of sorts, lays it off to Salah, and he finishes. So I mentioned the space before.
Pause this. Go back. Go back to the Bobby scenario.
All the way?
Just to where you, right there.
Okay.
And then just go to where the arrows are.
Oh, shit. Opposite side of the pitch, and he finds him. There we go.
There we go. Okay. So, Bobby, really like a rare position for forwards to be in here, kind of. But this is what he does. Now, I've seen even someone like Fabinho get the ball here. I've seen Hendo get the ball here or Milner get the ball here. Where are they passing it once they get the ball right here?
Side to side.
Probably Thiago. Probably one touch.
Oh, right now. Right now, you mean.
Thiago.
Right now.
Yep.
Okay.
One touch back to Thiago. Let him handle it.
Yep.
Then he's got this guy right in his face. That wide midfielder there that's in front of him.
And it gives the
difference
defense
is also
time to
Bobby's
reset.
playmaking.
It
the
gives
link.
Yeah, and it gives the defense, when they make that pass back to Thiago, the defense resets. They get back in position. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
You have to be a certain type of player to get this and move it along on a through ball out to Robbo.
Right.
I think like Keita will do that.
Keita, yeah.
Doesn't have much of a left foot, but that's a pass he'd try. I even think Ox has that in him. But the players that are there right now, they're not doing that.
Yeah.
We have a great counterattacking opportunity here, but people are passing backwards and sideways. That's the point I was trying to make.
Yeah, and then more to that point, let's take a look at a good counterattack. This actually came against Leicester, believe it or not. Okay. We'll play this portion of it right here. If we look at this throw in here from Leicester, look at how the defense collapses. Look at that. Harvey wins it. Ox, quick outlet pass to Darwin Nunez, and he's open. He's in space. And so, dude, that goes exactly what you were saying. You said, I think Ox has that ability. He did it right there. That's a quick outlet ball. Darwin's on the break, and it makes a chance. I mean, Darwin's pace
The
is going to bring
difference
him
is
around.
switching.
Yeah.
The difference is switching. Like, I've seen Hendo make that pass 100 times. But the ability to take something, being in a crowd, scanning with your head, knowing the ball is coming to you, knowing where everybody is and how much time you have, still taking it and turning in the opposite direction of where you were looking and moving it across, that's just Bobby's specialty. Stuff like that. It's so little, and they can do it, but Bobby just has that insane IQ and awareness to know how much time he has when he gets that ball in a pocket there. It's easier for the other players to just play it safe. Now, they are capable of doing what Bobby did in that previous clip. But those are the types of things we're missing, and that's just one fine example.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I want to keep going. I want to show, just for those of you who didn't watch it, I just think this is very, very beneficial. I want you to look at the Brentford match because, oh, man.
Brentford
Okay.
match.
Okay. So look, here, Liverpool lose the ball in the box. Okay. Now look at the counterattack here. Let's pause it right here. Look at this. Fabinho and Samikas are tracking back. Dude, look how narrow we are, number one. But number two, there's no one ready to press? You know, like, what is this up? Is this Kanate up here on the top right here? I'm pretty sure that's got to be Kanate. So Kanate now feels, because Fabinho has pushed up so far, which is not bad. Like, I know we push a lot of men forward to try to score, but when a team beats the midfield, which they did here, they completely beat the midfield. What you end up with is now Van Dijk and Kanate have the responsibility to try to win the ball back, because they're such a high line. They're not back defending. They're trying to win the ball back. And if they don't win the ball back, look what happens, man. Look at this. Look at it. Van Dijk is pulled all the way towards the outside channel. And look at the counterattack here. It's just quick, open space. They're just okay, it's unbelievable how easy it is. Look, enough of that. I just wanted to show everyone that.
Well, now imagine what I was saying earlier. Imagine if that was Matip.
Very
That's
true.
A nice shot on target.
Yeah.
That's a clear chance.
You
that
said
probably will be Kanate on that side. But
you said something funny the other day. You said the only players that want to get forward and make anything happen are Matip.
No. The only players I feel like that are hungry to drive the ball forward are Robbo and Matip.
It's crazy.
And I think, like, that's no knock on, like, Salah or Nunez. I'm okay with them right now. Like, to me, they're okay.
I want to get into that next also, once you finish this thought. Because I
just think Robbo and Matip look hungry out there. And they look like the same, like this. They look as hungry as they were last year, carrying the ball forward. The other thing I want to do, I don't want to talk about this. I do want to say, I think Keita has been okay. I think he's made a difference when he's come on. That's not to say he doesn't need to leave still, but I'm actually kind of glad we have him available right now. Let me just say that.
Yes, agreed. 100% agreed. When he's come on, he's looked great. I would, before we talk about Gakpo and Nunez and Salah, their play yesterday, I just want to thank everybody for tuning in to the show and supporting the cause. All of our channel members, everyone who has been donating to the channel. You guys are the reason we can keep this show going. Thank you very much for showing your support, not only just being here, but if you go the extra mile and do it monetarily, we appreciate that as well. Darwin, Salah, and Gakpo. I liked what I saw from Gakpo and Robbo yesterday. That link-up play on the far side was phenomenal, okay? Robbo and Gakpo looked like they had been playing together for a long time, okay? And Yes, we're missing Diaz. Yes, we're missing Jota. Yes, we're missing Bobby. But Gakpo yesterday provided what Ox just wasn't doing. Ox was just not, he wasn't far enough in that channel, in that left channel. He just kept drifting centrally, just drifting centrally. And I talk about that in the video as well. He's playing right next to Nunez. And Robbo and Samikas have no one to link up with on that side. Nobody. They're left out to dry. And yesterday, Gakpo and Robbo caused problems for the defense. That's what I want to see. For his debut, I thought he looked okay. He had a couple shots on target. He had that one that I think he should have scored, but it was a good play. Nunez has 10 goals, bro. 10 goals in like 24 appearances. It's going to get swept under the rug. Nunez, when he actually gets firing, and we've said this countless times, he's going to be a problem. And I think he's already a problem.
He's going to be very scary.
But the scary...
I'm not worried about him at all.
No.
Honestly.
But the difference between him and, let's say, a Bobby, Nunez cannot create for himself. He relies on other people to give him the ball in dangerous positions in order to score. But that's just what I want to say. And let's go over to Tony's comment here. The confidence is missing from the team. We are snatching at chances instead of placing them. You look how confident Bobby, Milner, and Diaz are and how they affect games. That's a good point, dude. We don't realize how much we miss Diaz and Bobby and Milner until we're without them.
It's always been the case with Bobby, especially.
Yeah.
He's got to be close. No?
He should be. I think it's just a muscular injury. Van Dijk, we know, is out for a month. Diaz is out till March. Jota, I haven't heard anything about Diogo Jota. I don't know what's going on with Jota. But
yeah, Van Dijk needs a break.
He does.
Anyways.
Our key prolific attackers are out.
Let's see. I'm trying to check in on Bobby.
Excuse me. Yeah, check in on Bobby. Let me know. I'm not surprised anymore. I actually wasn't really, when we lost Virgil, my initial reaction was just, oh, okay, Virgil's out now. He hasn't been making enough of a difference defensively this season to where I was like, wow, that's a huge loss. It was more so just like, well, damn, now we're going to be without Virgil. I don't know if that makes any sense to anyone, but that's what I think. What does it say about Bobby?
He'll be back soon.
Yeah, I figured he would.
Like, I would say in the next week.
I'd also like to see him sign a new contract. Another 1 or 2 year extension.
I think a 2-year extension would be nice. Just preserve the value a little bit more, if nothing else. And
Absolutely.
Keep him. We need him. You know Klopp's pushing for that.
He's got to be. Yeah.
And I think it's fair. I think it's a fair extension because age isn't a problem with our forwards anymore. No. With Gakpo, Nunez, Diaz, Jota, like Salah and Bobby are getting up there. But other than that, everybody's young and fine. So if Klopp wants to keep a player of his, they should allow him to do so.
Absolutely. And look at how Bobby's played this season. Bobby had his last, before this season, 3 previous seasons, he was slowly trickling down statistically, getting less and less game time. This season, he was forced to play because Nunez was out for 3 games with the suspension and Jota was injured. Bobby had to be in there. All right. Bobby, I'm not, Salah leads the team and then Nunez is second, but Bobby's stats. Bobby has been phenomenal this season when he's played.
Might be our highest scorer in the Prem.
I think that would still be Salah, no?
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, regardless, Bobby has been great. So, and Ross says, buying Gakpo, we can focus our funds in the summer on the midfield. Yeah, I think that's the goal. Jamie Carragher said the other day, or someone said the other day on a podcast that Liverpool, who knows how true this is, Liverpool will have £200 million to put towards the midfield this summer.
Why not now? Why do we have to wait?
I don't know, dude. Maybe they don't.
Doesn't matter how much.
Maybe they don't get paid. Maybe
don't. Champions League.
Maybe they don't get their their pay, their advertisement pay, and their share of the TV money and competition money until the end of the season. So maybe that's why they have to wait for that
There's still
influx.
ways to buy, though.
I know, but
Delayed payments, deferred payments, all
yeah.
that stuff, man. That's no excuse. Cash flow is not an excuse.
Hmm.
Swaps.
Swaps are rare, dude. This isn't
So
the
what?
NBA.
Let's
This
not
isn't the
let's not
NBA.
make them rare.
Yeah, but
It shouldn't be.
no, but the thing with swaps is that the salaries have to match up. It's not just like a
No, you do a swap with cash.
yeah, but teams don't necessarily like that.
I'm just saying, there's other ways around it.
We
If
need to
Liverpool
do
wanted a deal done that bad and they didn't have the cash flow, they could find a deal for a midfielder with a swap. You're not going to convince me of otherwise.
dude, I'm telling you, they should start doing picks, man. They need to do a draft because if they could do that, swaps would become much more common. Look, we'll swap you Keita and 2 first-round picks for Bellingham. And they're like, ooh, that's enticing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But
Imagine.
or if there was a salary cap, this sport would be so much more even. It'd be unbelievable.
Yeah. And then players would make less too,
Yeah, they would.
which is good too, to an
And
extent.
you can of course you have the option to keep raising the salary cap. That's fine. All right, but I personally think there needs to be a salary cap. That's just me. I think it would make it much more fair across the board.
That ain't gonna happen.
It's never going to happen. I'm just saying that's what I think.
Football is the most top-heavy sport there is.
Yeah, and it always will be.
There's nothing like it, and it'll be like that forever. It'll be the same Big Six in the Prem by probably the next 100 years.
Yeah, well, you got Newcastle coming up too. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
right.
Yeah. Everyone's saying money isn't an issue. I still don't believe money is an issue. I just think it comes down to being extremely frugal and cautious with spending. It's what it's always been. Clearly, money has never been an issue for Liverpool. They make plenty of it. All right. But there's a different way to approach business than throwing money at players every single transfer window. Look at Chelsea. Chelsea and Liverpool are polar opposites in transfer strategies. Chelsea buy at a new starting 11 every year, cycling through. Every transfer window, they get at least 2 to 3 new players. You think I'm kidding? Go look. It's astounding. It's unbelievable. You guys probably forgot Aubameyang played for Chelsea, didn't you? Christian Pulisic. It's unbelievable. So, something to think about. And Liverpool approach it much differently. So, Steve, closing thoughts. What are you looking forward to? We got Brighton coming up next
Not looking forward to that.
Not?
No.
Why?
Not one bit. Because I don't enjoy watching them play right now.
Oh, yeah, but we still get to play.
It's still something to do. But, like, it's just painful, dude. It's not enjoyable. I'm okay. If we just weren't good, if we were a middle tier caliber quality team, like these matches would make sense, but they don't make sense.
Yeah, because of our quality. It's
frustrating.
Yeah.
It's frustrating. They're professionals. It's just rare to see a team that is better than the team it's lined up against every single match play poorly or really, really struggle or lose or draw to teams that they shouldn't. Those used to be rare. Those losses, those draws were rare. Kind of. But now it's like, somebody asked me, how do I feel about the match yesterday? I was like, terrible. They're like, yeah, but the lineups, they'll play like the young players, like Wolves. I'm like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who's out there. That just goes to show you the problem's with us.
They didn't. They went with the strongest lineup they had.
Right, but either way, their strongest lineup, like no one starts for Liverpool in that 11.
Oh, I thought you. Never
And
mind.
we played a strong lineup too.
No, Wolves didn't.
No, I'm saying that's how you know because of who Wolves played or who teams play in these cups. The fact that we still struggled shows that it is a serious issue that we're dealing with internally.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
We're not good right now at all. We're bad. We're below average. We're not even average and struggling. We are below average. Look at the last 3 matches, and then we'll leave it at that. Leicester, 2 own goals to a victory. Never happened again. Here's your gift. That's what it felt like to me. I was like, okay,
it's
good.
Absolutely
little gift.
Comical, dude. Absolutely.
Like Merry
comical.
Christmas.
Yeah.
Then Brentford. Enough said. And then yesterday.
Yeah.
That's it. We're bad.
Closing thoughts for me, I think Liverpool just need to figure it out. We're not playing well right now. That's what it comes down to. It comes down to the fact that we're just not playing well. Blame it on whatever you want, but you can watch the game and you can see when you're not playing well, you're not going to win matches. It's just what it comes down to. And you can't have this flip-flopping where a player has a good game and then they have a bad game. You need to be consistent, team efforts across the board. And that's what we need to see going forward, Steve. It's good to see Gakpo get out there. It's good to see Darwin Nunez score, but you got to play with some consistency and effort to win matches, especially when you have the quality that Liverpool do. I'm done.
No doubt. That's it. Thanks for joining us, everyone. We're
Appreciate
glad to be
everyone
back.
tuning in. We're back. Sunday Summary is back every Sunday now. Make sure you tune in, subscribe to the channel, like the stream if you haven't already. Again, thank you all for your support. And until next time, Reds, take care.